Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday to you. We are finally back with a TTM video. It really has been some feast or famine lately. Last video was back on Monday, and we had a bundle of returns that came in, and here we are now all the way on Friday, and again, we got a little bit of a bundle here. Now, to be fair, I did get some returns yesterday on Thursday, but they came late in the day, or I got them late in the day, and I just didn't have the energy in me to do a video. So I actually got 3 in yesterday, and then I got 4 in today. So we've got 7 envelopes all together to open up, and as you can see, we got stuff all over the U.S. here, and even one from the Great White North of Canada. So let's go ahead and dig in and see what the day brings to us. All right, so we're going to start off first here with North Houston, Texas. No clue what this one may be. Could be pretty much anything, especially coming out of Texas. All right, cool. This is a good start here. We got Art Howe. Art Howe is he's a longtime baseball coach and also player. And sent him out a nice little hodgepodge of cards, and some from his playing days and some from his coaching days. And Art took care of me with a nice 6 of 6 return. Of course, you know, the catalyst for all this was the fact that he has a Mets manager's card. He actually has a couple of them. I just don't have the other ones yet. And one of the things you notice here with him is very, very intentional with the placement of his cards. So you can see, like with this A's card, how he signed it up in the corner to make sure that the autograph showed nicely. But yet on this Astros card, he signed it down here in the white, here right across. With the Fleer card, signed it kind of up his sleeve right there between his flesh tone and then the orange of the jersey. And then with the Mets card, signed it across the bottom where the orange was instead of all the dark blue. So really neat how intentional he was with making sure he signed it in a place where his autograph really stood out. This wasn't out for very long, probably 2 weeks or less, but he's always been a great, great signer from everything I've seen. So I finally was able to hop on board. I might send to him again in a couple months if I can find the rest of his Mets manager cards. I think he's got 3 different years worth of cards. All right, next up, let's go to Santa Clara, California. This one, I've got a feeling is probably going to be a baseball return. I'm hoping maybe a USA baseball return, but let's see what we get here. Well, I was right. It is baseball. It is actually former Kansas City Royals pitcher Mark Gubicza. Not much to his autograph, but that's kind of what I've heard. It's just kind of like a G, a cursive G, but it's signed by him, and that's kind of the most important thing with it. 4 of 4. Again, this was a quick return here. Came back probably in about, again, 2 weeks or so. 88 Fleer, another one for the set there. The 91 Upper Deck, 90 Score, and 92 Score. So, again, those sets that I told you a couple weeks back, I picked up for $1 a set, are paying dividends for me. And it's nice because those sets are collated, so it's not like I have to go through the entire box to find a player. They're all sequenced, so all I got to do is just go online real quick, find out the card number, and then boom, go straight to it. All right, 2 for 2 so far. Let's see if we can keep the luck going with a return here out of Indianapolis. Well, there we go. We know who it is. Dyer Miller, former New York Met, and also played with some other teams in his career. He always has an interesting little thing that he sends back as well, where he does a nice little note. Says, thanks for your nice note, and thanks for being a baseball fan, and he also dates it there. I enjoyed reading about your baseball experience as a youngster. I think we can all agree that baseball can be a real man maker. It gives one great life experiences. Hope you're looking forward to the 2021 season. Looks like the Mets are making some good moves under the new ownership. Best wishes to you and your family for staying safe and healthy during these tough times. Sincerely, Dyer. So I had written to him once very early during the pandemic, and he was really nice, wrote a nice little letter and talked about his time playing for the Mets. So I think he's one of these guys. He just loves getting the fan mail. And you could tell that he actually does read the letters and then sends back a nice note with each of it. So this is very, very cool there. This is one that definitely gets saved and put away just as a nice little additional memento. And as you can see here, he signed a nice 4 of 4 for me. Got the 2 Mets cards there, 282 cards. And then also, I had found, and you have probably seen in some of the other videos, some of the Senior League cards. I've been getting a couple of these signed here and there. So he was a coach and then manager here with the Orlando Juice of the Senior League. A lot of cool guys, a lot of guys that played in the 70s and 80s are in the Senior League sets. If you do TTMs, if you have a chance that you can come across it, especially this one here, which this was done, I believe it was done by, it was done by Topps and was 89. But if you have a chance that you can come across this set, it's actually very much worth it. I've been very fortunate. I've got several cards signed out of it so far. And it seems like the players kind of enjoy it because it's probably a card that they don't see very often. All right. Next up, let's go to Portland, Oregon. This one I saw coming in, and I know I don't have a whole lot of returns out there in Oregon, so I think I know what this one is. And if it is who I think it is, there should be a cool story that I can tell to go with it. Yep, this is who I thought it was. All right, cool. So a nice return from Steve Decker. So Steve Decker was a catcher for the Giants in the early 90s. He was kind of like a backup catcher. I mean, when you look at his stats here, he definitely was not a starter, but he was a good number 2 catcher. So back in the early 90s, I was playing in some rotisserie baseball leagues, now more commonly known as fantasy baseball leagues. And the league that I played in, bunch of guys I went to school with, and we decided to only play National League. We really wanted to kind of flex our baseball muscles, and we only wanted to do National League. So you really had to dig deep, and you had to get really creative with your rosters. So we had like 8 guys in the league, and 20 or 25-man rosters. So in some cases, you had to go with backup players, 4th outfielders, 4th or 5th starters in the rotation, middle relievers, stuff like that. So I actually had drafted Steve Decker to be one of my backup catchers. And years later, it was towards the tail end of his playing career, so like early 2000s probably, I actually saw him at a minor league baseball game. And I got a chance to talk to him after the game. And I went up to him, and I can't remember, I probably had him sign a card. But I went up to him, and I said, man, you were actually on my fantasy baseball league back when you were early in your career with the Giants. And immediately he apologized and said, I'm sorry, I probably made you lose your league. And I shot back to him. I said, no, actually, I did win the league. And he was like, oh, well, you must have won in spite of me and with my stats. So just a funny little story, but just having that interaction and him just kind of a little self-deprecating humor with it kind of made me a fan of his. And so when I saw he was signing and kind of dug these cards out, I was like, okay, I know I got to go ahead and send these out to him. So really cool return, getting these in, and a nice 6 of 6 return. So good stuff there. By the way, I love this horizontal card. It just shows up so nice there, and having the kind of the width to be able to sign it really makes it look sharp. Okay, so on next to Raleigh, North Carolina. There's really only one return that I still had out there, and if this is what I think it is, I don't know what this is going to look like. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I thought it would be. I'm not going to show the letter necessarily. I'm just going to kind of talk about what we have. So I'd sent out to Craig Watts, played at NC State, and between the time that I had sent it out and getting this return back, Craig unfortunately passed away. I didn't even know he was sick. There really wasn't anything publicized about it. But after his passing, I did kind of look up and see, what I could find out about it. And apparently he had a long-term medical battle. Didn't even know about it. So hopefully it wasn't too rough on the family with it. But I did get a note back from his wife, just kind of talking a little bit about him passing with it. So nothing that I need to put on camera. Just it's an unfortunate thing when that happens. I just if there's anything I can take a relief of is that I didn't send it after a guy had passed. I think that's a feeling that everybody hates, is sending something out to a player after they've passed just because you didn't know it. It's just, I think we all get a bad feeling if something like that happens. So if there's any solace I can take with that, it's that I sent it out before I knew anything had happened. So anyway, I'm just going to move on from that. Nothing more to talk about with that. All right, got 2 more to go here. Let's see what we're getting here out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I think I know what this one may be. Just if it did come indeed out of Harrisburg proper. So let's see here. And yeah, this is what I thought it would be. So after having a little bit of a dry streak when it comes to USA Baseball, if you remember a couple weeks, well, gosh, now it's been more than a month ago, I had sent out to a number of players that had played on some of the USA Baseball Olympic teams and had gotten some back rather quickly, and then it kind of has gone a little dry. Well, dry streak over. So Chad McConnell, who played on the team with 92, this card's from the 92 Tops Traded and 92 Stadium Club. Also his classic draft picks card out of 92, and then 93 Upper Deck Top Prospects. So nice clean signature there. Did a nice 5 of 5 for me. So good stuff with that, and always great to get some USA Baseball ink. So great return with that. That one was out for, gosh, it's actually probably been closer to 2 months that one's been out, because I know I was doing that before the holidays. But cool to get that back, and hopefully we'll get some more coming in. All right, last one for the day, the Great White North. And this could be pretty much anything. We just know that it's going to be hockey. So let's see. All right, our last return is a killer return. So I'm going to let that marinate just for a sec to see if anybody that really knows their hockey knows if I say I got a killer return. And I will tell you, it's not Killer Kowalski, the wrestler. But think about if there was a hockey player who had the nickname Killer. In 3, 2, 1. Did you know it? Nah, you didn't. All right, so got a nice return back from Hall of Famer Doug Gilmour, otherwise known as Killer. Dougie is... He's an interesting individual. He can be extremely, extremely nice and cordial, and he can be a real pain in the rear. It just kind of depends on what kind of mood he's in. I've seen him be great with graphers, and I've seen him also be very, very rough with graphers. I know for a while he was very turned off with autographs, but it looks as though, at least as of recent, he's been a little more kind with his autograph and willing to do some signing here. So I wanted to take the opportunity to go ahead and get a couple cards out. The Leaf set that I've been kind of working on here and there. A nice old school 94-95 Parkhurst. I believe it's 94-95. And then I recently had come back across those studio cards, 97-98. I had got the Ryan Smith signed out of there, and I've got a couple others that are out right now. So I wanted to go ahead and get those sent out. Just guys that I know that would sign with it. They're just kind of neat, a little bit different cards with just kind of those studio shots with it. So Hall of Famer to add to the collection. I have gotten them before in person years ago, but always good to add to the Hall of Fame collection. So for the day, I'm going to say that we had 100% success. Everything that could be controlled was controlled with it. We had one unfortunate incident with Craig Watts passing, but you can't help that. So I'm not going to consider that to be a failure. That's just that's like getting a walk in baseball. It doesn't count as an official at bat. But for the day, pretty good stuff here. So we ended up with our 3 of 3 from Doug Gilmore. We got 5 out of 5 from Chad McConnell. 6 out of 6 from Steve Decker. We got 4 out of 4 from Mark Gubasaw. And let me just readjust that. 4 out of 4 from Dyer Miller. And then bringing up the rear, a nice 6 out of 6 return from Art Howe. So for the day, pretty darn good here. So we ended up with, let's see, 27 autographs. So when you put that on top of what we had from earlier in the week, I think it was 20 plus with that. So yeah, we probably ended up with about 50 autographs for the week. So not too shabby at all. Considering that, we are still in a pandemic and nobody's really able to do much in the way of in-person autographs, to be able to still get autographs through the mail and kind of have some of these cool interactions like with Dyer Miller and kind of have stories to tell with stuff about guys like Steve Decker. So that's what really kind of makes this fun. And when you get these cool returns back in, it's always nice. And, with Craig Watts' wife to send a little personal note back, it means a lot. Didn't have to do that. Didn't have to send anything back at all, let alone put a note in there. So just, a nice touch to just kind of put that in there and kind of just let me be aware and kind of have some closure with that. So, good day to end out the week, though. We still got Saturday to come, but who knows what that may bring. As I said, lately it seems to be feast or famine here, so we'll see what the weekend brings. But for today, we're going to put a wrap on this. So as always, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. And I always try to throw in little anecdotes where I can with the players. So I hope you enjoy the little side stories when we have those there. But again, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And hope everyone out there is staying safe. Make sure you keep on having fun. Keep your spirits up there. And if you are a TTMer, hope your mailboxes are staying full of ink. So until next time, everyone, see ya.